Surprise everyone, it's chapter 13, Major de Coverley, done by Allyson and Annalee Smith. So the point of view is third-person omniscient, and there are many flashbacks from battles in Naples, Florence, Rome, and the apartments in Rome, and also the base that they stay at, and that's where the setting is for majority of chapter 13. Now we can move on to the characters in chapter 13. Major de Coverley seemed eternally indestructible, mysterious. He had his transparent eye patch. He acted superior to others. He acted as a pimp. Secretive about himself, people were very loyal to him. He was called a Spartan in adversity. Concerned with others' business, splendid, awe-inspiring, grave old man. Yossarian got Kraft and his crew killed by flying over their target a second time, seemed to understand his duty and tried to fulfill it with his best ability, but that clearly didn't work out for him. Then you have Major, Doc Danica, Arfie, and Hungry Joe, which were kind of characters that were mentioned very briefly. The maid in lime-colored panties laid for everybody, and Yossarian was in love with her. Milo got special permission to fly to bring eggs and various other foods to the base and the troop, and that was very smart on his part, as he got to sell the food to others to make profit. Then there was General Dreedle, Colonel Cathcart, who interrogated Yossarian on why he got Kraft and his crew killed. He eventually changed his point of view and wanted to give him a medal. He was selfish. He only seemed to care about himself in the situation. He was very worried and anxious the whole time, and he felt guilty, so he placed the sole blame on Yossarian. Then you have Colonel Korn, who was sarcastic, playful, and comedic.
So the plot of chapter 13 begins with the explanation of Major de Coverley and how he's mysterious and he does all of these things for the troops, and explains the apartments he rents for the troops and the women that are brought there, and basically they're there to satisfy the needs of the men. And then it goes into how Milo started flying out for eggs and other food for the base to harvest and sell to others to make a profit because he's all about money. This works out really well for him. And then it ends with Yossarian's trial and interrogation as a result of Kraft's plane being shot down. He flew over a second time so that he could bomb it, but then as a result, Kraft and his crew were shot down and he was interrogated, and they said that he was going to be punished, and then in the end they ended up rewarding him with the medal. The two most ironic moments in chapter 13 would be Major de Coverley and how he was never injured in battle, hinting at how he seemed indestructible to everyone, but the one time he was injured was during a parade in Rome when he was hit in the eye by a flower that was thrown at him by an intoxicated old man, resulting in him getting his famous transparent eye patch. The second part would be when Yossarian was interrogated for leading the bombers over the target the second time, because it started out with them saying that he was going to be punished and this and that, and in the end they were like, you know what, you are pretty brave for going around twice, so maybe you'll get a medal and stuff like that. The themes that we chose best represented chapter 13 are meaningless military power, miscommunication, the fragility of life in wartime, ethical decision-making and reasoning, and how death is inevitable. The meaningless military power comes into play with Major de Coverley. He uses his power and his title to get girls to come to the apartments for the troops so the troops can use them. He uses his power to get Milo to fly out and get him fresh eggs and all this food that starts his whole flying thing. And then miscommunication, fragility of life, ethical decision-making and reasoning, and inevitability of death all come into play when Yossarian flies over and bombs the area for the second time, resulting in Kraft and his crew being killed, because it's hard for Yossarian to make that call. He knew he needed to get it done. It was his mission, and as a result of getting it done, one of his friends got killed. The inevitability of death comes into play there because, you're going to die no matter what, but his chances were just a lot higher.